Okay, here's lesson 2 today. We are going to look more at quadratic functions, and we're going to be working with standard form again. And remember, standard form is highest exponent to lowest exponent of variables. And again, you see this ax squared plus bx plus c. We're going to use this a lot with quadratics this unit. So if we take a look at what we're first going to talk about is finding the vertex. So if I want to find the vertex of our quadratic graph, okay, of our parabola, notice if I have 2x squared plus 2x, adding a b, okay, if you look, if I add b into the equation, okay, it moves where the vertex is going to be, but it's not really easy to tell. Okay, but to find the vertex, we're going to use the equation negative b over 2a, and that's what we see here. Okay, so negative b over 2a is an equation that you're going to want to remember, and that's just to find the x-coordinate of your vertex. Okay, so the x-coordinate of your vertex is negative b over 2a. It just so happens that this equation also gives you the axis of symmetry, the line of axis of symmetry. So when I say x equals negative 3 over 2, that's where your axis of symmetry line would go. Okay. So what is the graph of negative x squared plus 4x minus 2? Well, we use negative b over 2a to find the x-coordinate. So b is 4 and a is negative 1. Okay, right here is a, and if there's no number, it's always 1 because we have the variable there, so it's negative 1. So now we have negative 4 over 2 times negative 1. So we have negative 4 over negative 2. So our x-coordinate of our vertex and the axis of symmetry is at 2. Okay, so we get x equals 2. Okay, so now that's the x-coordinate, and we could also draw in our axis of symmetry. That's our axis of symmetry, is x equals 2. Okay. Now to find the y-coordinate, all I simply do is I put 2 in for x in this equation and solve, because it equals y. Okay, so I'm going to have y equals 2 squared plus 4, negative in front of that 2, okay, plus 4 times 2, and then minus 2. Well, 2 squared is 4, and then times the negative is negative 4, so we have negative 4 plus 4 times 2 is 8 minus 2. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. So our y-coordinate is also 2. So our vertex is going to be at 2 and 2. Notice our axis of symmetry goes right through the vertex. Okay? And this is going to open down, so we know our parabola will be going down and opening, okay, because a is negative. And if a is negative, the parabola opens down. Okay, so it says to find 2 or 3 other points that will be on the graph, and then use the line of symmetry to your advantage when picking points. So I can either pick 2 points to the left of our coordinate of our vertex, or I can pick 2 points to the right. I'm going to choose, because on the left I either have 1 or 0, so 2 points that are smaller than 2 or 2 points larger than 2. 1 or 0, 3 or 4. 1 and 0 are a lot easier to do math with, so I'm going to choose 1 and 0. And I'm going to put those into the equation and solve. So if my x-coordinate is 1, we need to find the y-coordinate. Y equals negative 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 2. Okay, 1 squared is 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So negative 1 plus 4, because 4 times 1 is 4, minus 2. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we get 1, 1. If I put 0 into the equation. Okay, it would be 0 squared, which is 0, plus 4 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Okay, so we have 1, 1, graphs there, and 0, negative 2, graphs there. Now, because in a parabola, everything is exactly the same on the left side as it is on the right side, then I can just mirror this point exactly across my axis of symmetry. It's 1 away from the axis of symmetry, so I go 1 away from the axis of symmetry on the other side, and that is going to be a point. Same thing here, it's 2 away, so I go 2 away from the axis of symmetry, and that's going to be another point. So now my parabola is going to look like that. Okay? And then this is our axis of symmetry at x equals 2. AOS for axis of symmetry. Okay? And that's how you graph. Okay, so first you find the vertex, and then you choose 2 points either less than that vertex or 2 points greater than that vertex, and mirror it across the axis of symmetry. Okay, we got a word problem here. Says, for this word problem, it says, during halftime of a basketball game, a slingshot launches T-shirts at the crowd. T-shirt is launched with an initial upward velocity of 72 feet per second. The T-shirt is caught 35 feet above the court. What they want to know is how long will it take T-shirt to reach the maximum height. So how long? Then they would want to know what is the maximum height. Okay, and then what is the range of the maximum of the function. Okay, so we're answering 3 things here. So they set up the equation. Negative 16t squared plus 72t plus 5. Now, the 72 is because of the velocity. The velocity is 72 feet per second. And the 5 is because when they shoot it from the ground, it's 5 feet above the ground. Okay, so if we take a look, that's where they got the 72 and the 5. Negative 16 comes from our gravity. Okay, so now we have to answer question 1. How long does it take to reach the maximum height? Okay, that's a time. Well, to reach the maximum height, if we think about the T-shirt flying through the air, okay, the maximum height is right here. That's called the vertex. So to find the vertex, we can use negative b over 2a. Okay? And we're actually going to find the height first. Or no, we'll find the time. Sorry, that'll be, so the time will be negative b over 2a. So now, for step 1, or question 1, to do negative b over 2a, we get negative 72, because b is 72, and a is negative 16, so 2 times negative 16, so we get negative 72 over negative 32, and if we divide that, it's going to give you like 2.25, I think. Yep. So it would be about 2.25 seconds. Okay? Because that would be our time. Our time would equal negative b over 2a. Now to find the height, well, h is a height. That means I can just take the 2.25, put it in for t, and solve. So now we go to question 2 to find the height. H is going to equal negative 16 times 2.25 squared plus 72 times 2.25 and then plus 5. Okay, so now I need to find what 2.25 squared is, and it's like 5.0625, plus 72 times 2.25 plus 5. Then I multiply that times negative 16. So we end up getting negative 81 right here. Plus, and 72 times 2.25 is 162. And plus 5. Then I add them up. So negative 81 and 162 is 81. And then 81 plus 5 is going to be 86 feet. Okay? And then to find the range, range means what are all the possible y values. Well, so we want to find what is the minimum height of this t-shirt and what is the maximum height of the t-shirt. And y values, h is taking the place of y in this problem. Okay, h takes the place of y. So we have, what is the minimum height? Well, if you look at the problem, it starts at 5. It doesn't start from the ground. So 5 is the minimum. Okay, so I have 5, and then it's 5 is less than or equal to our height, which is less than or equal to, what was the maximum height? Well, we found the maximum height for question 2, and that was right here, 86 feet. So we have 5 is less than or equal to h, which is less than or equal to 86. So 86 is our maximum height, and 5 is the minimum height. So the height of the shirt at any time could be between 5 and 86 feet. Okay? In this problem, we never used the 35. That doesn't tell us anything, okay, for the questions that they ask. Okay, and then the last problem is just a similar one, except that they changed the numbers. Okay, again, it's launched from 5 feet. So when we write our equation, we still use the negative 16 t squared. Now, what is the velocity in this one? Okay, the velocity is 64. So now b is going to become 64 t and plus 5 because that's where it started. So then you're just going to use that equation to solve instead of this one back here, 72 plus 5. Okay, so same as the last problem, just different numbers. So I'm going to stop there, and then tomorrow we'll practice some of this in class. So make sure you have your notes and a question or comment, please.